TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership, was brought up to the S-17 Planning Assembly in 2013. June, on a Monday night at the Martin Luther King Center, the first night I joined in for the Planning Assembly, somebody said, "You need to hear about the TPP." I went like this: "Oh God, yet another conspiracy. Let's talk about hunger, let's talk about homelessness, let's talk about housing, how the 99% are affected." Because I absolutely bought in with what Samunda had to say, not taking away from any of the hardcore street things that we need to deal with. I took a great interest in the TPP because of the media silence. That was one of the things, that it's a secret. WikiLeaks revealed this to people in the environmental movement here in New York. On that Monday night, a representative who was part of the environmental movement, who came out of Occupy Environmental Solidarity, said, "We got the environmental leak from WikiLeaks." I joined in with the TPP resistance group based in Washington, D.C. because I wanted to learn more, because we were not learning it from anybody in the news. And when you have something revealed in the alternative media, you have to say, is this hyperbole? Have there been a fact check? Is this verifiable? September 22nd, down the street here, 3,000 of us took over Broadway for 6 hours, an event called Flood Wall Street. The reason I'm mentioning Flood Wall Street, because a number of months later there was an event in DC that was announced called Flood Congress. Our objective was to go into Senator Wyden's office in the Senate building and deliver letters to him saying you should not grant President Obama trade promotion authority because it is unconstitutional to let the president do what the Congress is supposed to do. I had the revelation that why the hell am I here and why isn't anybody from Oregon here? So the next day I looked up all 450 elected officials in the state of Oregon, all their email addresses, every mayor, every state assembly person, every state senator, and every county commissioner, and I wrote to them and I said, he's your elected official, not mine. You need to petition him to tell the president that he cannot break the law and the Constitution. It doesn't matter that for the last 30 years, presidents were given trade promotion authority. It is unconstitutional. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and he's in bed with the arms manufacturers. That's what I wrote, 450 of them. I got one email back. And I consider this a success because all it takes is one person who has the chutzpah or the balls to take it forward. Because it was 40 years ago where Ralph Nader said to me personally, yes, there is a clandestine organization that runs this in this country, but I can't speak about it because it's too risky. That was pretty cool that he said that privately. Going forward, so I looked at the email that I was sent, and it said, Mr. Weinberg, we don't know what this is. It's an email that we got from Trade Benefits America Coalition. Check this out. So I did. I never heard of them because for 2 years I've been involved with the groups protesting TPP, but no one ever said, check out Trade Benefits America Coalition. I looked at it. I went into their website. It turns out that they did what I did in one state to the whole nation. They wrote to all of the elected officials in every state. I said, how the hell could they have done that? It took me 2 days to get all those emails. I go in to the part where they brag about their sponsor, Business Roundtable. I didn't know what that was. And mind you, all of these years I've been here I've been in every social justice meeting in New York City and in Washington, D.C., and I read all the alternative media publications. No mention in the Business Roundtable. So now I'm really angry. I'm angry at myself for not knowing this. I'm angry at all of you for not knowing it. No, I don't blame you. Because it's been a secret. So get it, but I'm still pissed off. What is the Business Roundtable? And I go online to try to find out. And there's nothing there. I go to the library. I order 2 books from the public library where there was any mention of the Business Roundtable. It turns out that it is the wealthiest CEOs in this country only. No staff, nobody else goes into the meetings, nobody from Congress goes into the meetings. It is just the wealthiest billionaires in this country. So now I get curious. Who is the Business Roundtable? And why are they promoting through a major propaganda machine that the president should have trade promotion authority for the TPP and the TTIP in Europe? Who are they? I didn't know. So I looked to see who is on their board. And they list it because they brag about which corporations they're from. And something caught my eye on 25 board members. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, the largest weapons manufacturers in the country. And I look at the name James McNerney, James McNerney. I look at that name and I do a Google search. I go James McNerney and the TPP. James McNerney, the CEO and the president of Boeing, is on the President's Export Council. He sits as a board of director on the Export-Import Bank. And he's one of the President's trade advisors. And he's the CEO and the president of one of the largest weapons manufacturers in the country. But this is what I did. I said, Boeing makes airplanes. So I asked 50 people on the street in Princeton, what does Boeing manufacture? And I got 49 answers. They make airplanes. One person said they're one of the largest weapons manufacturers in this country. I then looked up Lockheed Martin, and Marilyn Hewitt also sits on the President's Export Council, and she's the head of Lockheed Martin. A long story short, the weapons manufacturers in this country for profit drove our trade agreements, putting billions of dollars into this for their own profit. This is not something we have discussed yet in any of our media, alternative media, and it's certainly not going to be covered in mainstream media. A little bit of news about the news. Ed Schultz on MSNBC had 75 exposés on the TPP. Comcast bought MSNBC, and they fired Ed Schultz. There's no longer any television coverage except for RTTV and Japanese TV, which you can get on cable. That was just the beginning of this. Then I get more outraged when I see, because Japan is one of the members of the TPP nations. Our president made a deal with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Japan. We want you to change your constitution so that you can be an offensive military capability. So if we go to war in the Asia Pacific, you in Japan don't have to just protect your islands. You can go to war with us. And right now, this week, their parliament is deliberating on changing their constitution. In Japan, right now, are the largest protests that country has ever seen to stop it. Guess what the government is doing there? They're saying, to hell what you people want. It's going to make a lot of money for us because we're getting money from the American arm manufacturers to work with our arms manufacturers, and we're going to make a lot of money. So we don't care what hundreds of thousands of people in Japan want. That is extremely dangerous for us as well, because it is now antagonizing China, who's upping the ante and doing more militarization on their own. That's how deep it gets. But the business roundtable is something that you need to check out for yourself, because you have to verify what anybody says. So this is what I did. I went into every arms manufacturer's website and I dug in with a special search tool to find out what their position was on trade promotion authority for President Obama. And it turns out that President Obama knows all of them and has been meeting with all of them. Michael Froman, who is the head of the President's Export Council, goes to all the senators and all the House of Representatives and offers them a tremendous amount of money to vote that they want. First, the Senate voted it down, and then the Senate changed the rules and brought in a lot of lobbyists and bought their votes. So now I know this, and this is in June. The Senate and the House of Representatives are set to vote. So what am I going to do? Well, I decided to write to the Congressional Black Caucus legislative directors, all 42 of them. And I wrote a message saying, lack of gun control and violence in this country and violence abroad all come from the same point source of profiteering off of violence. It is not two separate subjects, it's two symptoms from the same problem. They make money here, they make money abroad. We cannot bifurcate the conversation anymore. The next time we have a war in Asia, there's going to be a draft, is what I wrote to them. And guess who's going to be drafted? I said, your people. I know it's not politically correct, but it's your people who are going to go to the next war through a draft. They asked me to come down to DC and talk to them about this, which was amazing to me, and I went. And I met with legislative directors from the Congressional Black Caucus, saying lack of gun control here for profiteering is keeping us from really talking about the Second Amendment, which is a well-regulated militia is how it starts. Well, the NRA bastardized it, like all the other people who are interested in selling guns here, and they say we have a right to bear arms. That's not what it says at all. It says a well-regulated militia. And my point is, we never had a definition about well-regulated means in terms of guns. We have well-regulated highway systems. We have well-regulated elevators in buildings, but we never talk about the truth, which is, what does well-regulated mean when it comes to guns? And I also pointed out to the people in Congress the expense to our society because of our wars and our military incursions and our military bases everywhere around the world is costing us so much money. There's nothing left over for the 99%. For education, for housing, for cultural integration, there's no money left because a few people in the arms trade who are part of the business roundtable, who are integrated with our government, are making a fortune of money off of death and destruction. It is a cost of doing business for them. Just like environmental degradation is a cost of doing business. They suffer through the lawsuits, they pay for more insurance. But who pays for all of this is us. So I sit back and say, what else can I do? I wrote to all 100 senators saying you will behave unethically if you give trade promotion authority to President Obama. He's in bed with the arms manufacturers. He meets with them all of the time. He goes to other nations to promote their weapons personally.
Why?
Why is our president doing it? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to allude to what President Clinton did in his last several months on the website. President Clinton made a major deal with Goldman Sachs. He got out of debt owing millions of dollars, and now ex-President Clinton is a multiple millionaire. It's part of the revolving door. Our president's a part of it. It's almost inescapable because the whole damn system is rotten as hell. And that's from the top down. The presidency has been corrupted. And Mr. Obama is waiting in line for his wealth as well.
So his wealth has come from the arms dealer, not Goldman Sachs, per se.
No.
I'm trying to...
how it's going to be channeled.
Right.
All of our major banks are part of international sales. They lend money to other nations so that they can buy the weapons. Maybe they get paid back, maybe they don't. So I wrote to all 100 senators, then I get on the phone and I sent emails to the legislative directors for senators and people in the House of Representatives. And I say, I'm coming down to DC for 2 days. I want to come and see you, and I want to talk about the profiteering off of weapon sales and how that's driving public policy and the trade agreement in Europe, the TTIP, and the TPP in Asia. And they say, here's my schedule, come in, now let's talk. They're always open to have meetings. I did not know that until I asked. It's pretty incredible. So the last time I was in DC talking to legislative directors, I said, this October, a group that I'm part of, which is Flush the TPP, it's sponsored by Popular Resistance. Go to popularresistance.org. It's the best news source for social justice. So I meet with them and they say, Jan, what can we possibly do about this? I said, without conversation, we're not going to get anywhere with weapons systems in our cities, in our rural areas, and abroad. And what the senators can do this fall, and the people from the House of Representatives, when they go home, they can call for town halls, and they can discuss these issues, and we'll provide the talking points.
Where does it stand right now with the TPP? Because I kind of got lost. Did Obama get the ability to negotiate that, and is it now negotiated and then going to just be it up or down?
President Obama has trade promotion authority. There was lots of wrangling in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. They each had to vote twice. There was a tremendous amount of manipulation that I'm not going to get into now. The president has trade promotion authority. 3 weeks ago in Maui, all 12 of the nations got together thinking they were going to finalize their agreements, but they couldn't finish. The tobacco industry was upset because certain nations wanted tobacco exempt, so the tobacco industry could not sue a country if they had more strict regulations on tobacco. That is how I started, and they could not finish up about dairy production in Canada and Australia. But the biggest stumbling block was about tobacco, because 4 senators from the United States said, if tobacco can't sue because you're making things healthier in other countries, we will not vote for the TPP, even though they gave the president trade promotion authority. We do not know how fast it's going to move along. Canada is on the verge of a new election and may opt out of the TPP if Harper is not reelected. Canada is going through their national health care issues will be bastardized by the TPP, and there's huge protests in Canada. But the president got trade promotion authority, and by the way, is not doing a very good job of it. If I was on the other side, I'd fire him, because there was all these things he did not anticipate, which is really bad, but I'm happy that he did a bad job of it. You had a question?
No, I was just going to point out that in the reparations portion of the TPP, can not only go to tell them to change the laws, but if they decide not to, then you have to pay reparations to the corporation for future lost profits.
Well, this is just a comment, but it's really sad that in the small town that I live in Vermont, the only company that's hiring right now is a company that makes helmets for the army. Yeah, helmets. And when they're helmets, you know, army helmets.
Army? Oh,
Yeah.
not football.
You mentioned something
Not
interesting
football.
about the state of Vermont.
And we could be growing hemp and having a great hemp industry, but instead we're
Vermont is very interesting. I was in Bernie Sanders' office, and this is 3 weeks ago, and I said, how come the campaign didn't respond to me about the weaponization of our trade agreements?
Weaponization. Okay.
And I said, because Bernie Sanders has been against the TPP.
Oh.
And I said, how come I gave you guys something amazing to talk about? You go verify it. This is what they told me. He's not going to be talking about that part of it in the campaign. So I said to myself, that's interesting. I'm going to go home and I'm going to research Bernie Sanders like I researched everybody else. Because how I found out that Obama was in bed with all of them is because I researched it. The different weapon manufacturers brag about their relationship with President Obama. President Obama in the White House website brags about his relationships with them. That's verifiable. But I was perplexed about why I got that response in Bernie Sanders' office. The only thing I could come up with was all the protests that took place in Vermont about Bernie Sanders helping Lockheed Martin use the Burlington Airport for F-35 jet manufacturing and testing. There was so much protest going on in Vermont that never made it into alt media, it never made it into mainstream media, but Bernie Sanders pissed off a lot of people in Vermont for getting behind the F-35 fighter jet, which is costing us billions of dollars, does not work well, but they're going to be testing these things in Vermont. So we have yet our new hero speaking for the 99% that is now working with Lockheed Martin, which is disgusting. Don't believe what I said. Go look it up. Burlington Airport F-35 fighter jet.
But I'm sure the reason is always jobs, because especially where I come from, we are really struggling with high poverty level and no jobs.
It's probably about jobs in the state of Vermont. I have news for you. Every single state in this nation has arms manufacturing in it. There's no exceptions to it. Connecticut with submarine manufacturing. What they did is they set up business offices in every state, make deals with every governor that will bring jobs to your state for weapons manufacturing, reduce our taxes in your state for our assembly plants or our business offices. There's no exception. Anyone running for office in any state from this country will have the same problem. They made business deals with the arms manufacturers. It's in New Jersey, it's in New York State, it's everywhere. I'm not picking on one person really, but he's in the news. And this is an example of what's happening now, because the trade agreements are being protested now in Europe and here in the United States and in Japan and in Australia and in New Zealand and in Vietnam. It's a current event. That's why I'm speaking about it now, because it is an Occupy Wall Street issue if there ever was one. A tremendous amount of money. It's more money than ever passed hands before. It puts our housing system and the corruption that happened there to the economic collapse, put to shame in how much money is. That's why I'm speaking about it today, because it's happening right now.